Howdy, howdy, howdy. Well, here she is, the old yak, right? You saw me a few weeks ago out in that swamp in South Jersey when I sunk her due to some serious cracks by the scupper holes. These holes are not on the outside or underneath. If it was, I just melt some plastic, be an easy fix. This is not that easy. It's inside by the scupper holes. The cracks happened due to me strapping it down over the years on the Forerunner and such, in the sun. So it's outside year-round, bad idea. So the sun's UV rays have deteriorated the polyethylene quite readily, to say the least, right? So I have some ideas how I am going to approach this, how I'm going to patch it. Not 100% sure it's going to work. So that being said, it will be used as a second kayak. I'm going to use it in low rivers, maybe ponds, only in warm weather. No more cold weather for her, because if something happens, goes wrong, I can't get out of the water, obviously, in January or February. So that being said, we will use it as a second yak, and that's it. I'm not positive this whole plan will work, but we're going to have a go at it and see. I do happen to have all my tools laid out here, and I have a can of Alexaseal. Now, I'm not Phil Swift, so I assure you, I am not going to be slicing the yak in half, but I am going to use it towards the end and see if that helps with the repair. So let's begin, shall we? Let's have at it. Okay, let's wipe it down real good with acetone. Clean up any residue, particles, dirt, whatever. Next, we are going to drill little relief holes right on the edges of the crack so the cracks don't expand. So anywhere there's a crack, I'm putting a little relief hole with the idea it'll stop the spread. Now, one thing I want to show you is that I've got a significant hole here, right? So my plan is to take some urethane, melt it, and try patching this hole before I use the Flexaseal or Flexa patch. So I went to Home Depot, and you can just get a simple bucket like this, right? And the polyethylene of a kayak, the grade, is the same grade as this type of plastic. You can find it in Clorox bottles, any type of plastic, but what you're looking for is this, I hope you can see it, this HDPE number 2 right here. That is the grade of polyethylene that you need to use that will be compatible with a yak, okay? So I'm going to cut some strips out of this, melt it up and mold it a little bit and see how it goes. Now I'm going to try reshaping the holes where the cracks are a little bit. Let's see if I can get the plastic to lay a little flatter before I weld it with the Home Depot bucket strips that I made. So I'm just trying to soften it up a little bit to get it to lay flatter or more back in its normal position, somewhat. So what I'll do also, I'm going to try flattening out the scupper hole a little bit and see if that helps a little bit to lay the polyethylene back down. So my idea is to take the scupper hole grommet, a little peak here, and flatten it a little bit. Now, let me show you what I did so far. So I took a heat gun and heated up the inside of the crack, repositioning the scupper hole, flattening it out a little bit, making the hole much closer before I put a weld on it. I'm going to try a little bit more on this side. But as you can see, it's much more closed up. So hopefully this is going to work. And this is the not so bad hole. That's the other side. Okay, as you can see, I cut up strips of bucket and I melted it with a heat gun. Okay, I'm heating up the cracks. So I'm trying to push the cracks a little bit closer together before I put the strips of plastic in here. Now this is going to take several different layers of strips to close this big hole up, but it should work out. Okay, I flipped it up on its side to hopefully give me a little bit easier access to molding this plastic. Again, once I get my first layer of plastic down, it should work. Again, I want to heat up the yak as well. Soften the plastic so it bonds. You want to get it to lay down in these crevices. Okay, as you can see, I've got the first layer on a base layer, and it's starting to turn white. It's cooling down, and I've got it pretty well molded in there. I'm going to work building it out here, closing off the rest of the hole. Should be pretty solid. Let's let it cool down, and we'll try another layer. Okay, I'm building out the second layer, as you can see. So it's coming along pretty nice. It's pretty solid. Let's keep building it out and close it up. Okay, I just laid on another coat of plastic. Looks pretty awesome, I think. Pretty solid. Now, here are my welds. The hot welded plastic worked out really nicely. As you can see, all the cracks are filled. This was a really bad side. Huge cracks. Looks like it's filled and welded very nicely. Now, the last step I'm going to do is I'm going to use Flex Seal. That's right. I'm not going to cut the yak in half like Phil Swift does on TV, but I think putting a coat, or two coats actually, over these welds is going to work out perfectly. Let's give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to tape this off a little bit. We don't need to Flex Seal over everything. And there you go. She's all sealed up and ready to hit the water. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial how to fix your cracked yak. I'm really confident what I did is going to work out really well. That Flex Seal has everything sealed up just perfectly in here. And hopefully, maybe it'll give somebody out there an idea if you have a crack in your kayak or a little damage. Maybe it'll give you some sort of idea of how you could fix it, right? Hopefully. Either way, you know what to say, right? Back in the yak, and I'll see you on the water. Thanks for watching.